like whose voice am I trying to be in service of? So when I'm working purely electronically, that's when I get to be like my most authentic self. Like I very much treat that as like a sort of journaling process. I'm purely expressing like what it is I'm feeling in whatever moment, or like communicate an idea for either like a specific person in mind or like a specific group of people. Like with Computer Room, it is like it's dedicated to all of the people that I grew up with on the internet. Everyone that's ever been on any of my friends lists. It's like, yeah, this is for you. Thanks for
Yeah.
making me who I am. But then when I'm working with someone like Adrienne, or like right now I'm doing a consortium with Andy Hudson, it's less about me and more about like, cool, what are we all doing together? Like the artistic entity isn't me and then a performer. It's like, no, no, no. It's both of us together. So I want to know like, all right, what does Adrienne like crush it in? Like what does she do exceptionally well? What emotions is she going through and how can I relate to that? And like what can I kind of channel through all of this? And I mean, I think for that piece in specific, we were both kind of dealing with the same thing of like a global pandemic. Sure, there's nuances and stuff, but like the overarching theme is like, yeah, we're stuck on our computers and we're alone. So that was pretty easy for me to channel into that into a way that like felt good in her hands and like give me the sense of trust that like she would do an amazing job with that.
So I know that in working with performers, sometimes that looks like sitting in a room and saying, can you do this on your instrument? Can you do it's almost like from a technical point of view, like let's be technicians here and let me write something that's like that you do really well technically. But and I'm sure that you do that too, but it almost sounds like you're just like hanging out almost and trying to get like the vibe of the emotions that you and your collaborator what's going on there.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, I think technique for the sake of technique's sake, especially after working so long with computers and electronics and like, I can make like the craziest runs just like go with zero effort. Technique isn't as attractive to me anymore with technology. Like flashy sounds are cool, but it's not as impressive as like an emotional thought or like a clearly communicated idea. And this was a big learning moment for me in I think the last piece I wrote in my master's, which was for our mutual friend Miki Sawada.
Yeah.
I wrote a piece for her called Rotations, solo piano piece. It's hard.
Yeah,
It
it's
is,
intense.
yeah. And Mickey like kills it on the recording. I remember when she played it live, everyone was just like, "How is she doing this? What's going on?" It's like, great, amazing. So like, holy crap! I'm like, yeah, I don't have words for it. But then I remember talking to her like years after, and was like, "Oh yeah, I that piece made me lose trust in you." And I'm like, "Oh no." Yeah, so like, yeah, the piece was great, but it was definitely like a piece that should have been for synth and keys, and this was before I'd gotten that deep into electronics and realized that's what the actual sounds I wanted to make. That like, oh yeah, I don't need to force another human being to do this to their bodies and spend X amount of hours practicing this to make them do this to their bodies. It's like, right, yeah, these are people. Like, people have more to communicate than just like, look how many hours I spent practicing this thing.
It's an interesting balance because, sometimes we wanna explore those realms, right? Like, we wanna get into the nitty-gritty and stuff like that, and I feel the same way. I've written pieces when I was younger and maybe less mature of a composer. I've written pieces for people where are they good pieces? I think so. Did they get performed well? I think so, but it's like, clearly there was, like, a miscommunication between me and the person just because I don't know if it was, like, we didn't know each other well enough, or or we didn't spend enough time getting to really know, like, what is this project going to be. But I think, yeah, I think what you're saying about, you can now explore that really kind of heavy technical, not necessarily heavy, but like when you do feel like doing more technical music, you can rely on the computer instead of a human. And the computer is not going to lose trust in you until AI gains sentience over us. But that's kind of an interesting balance, and it's
Yeah.
something I've never really thought about.
There's that, but then there's also I found it's easier to let human virtuosity shine through when I'm out of the way. Like, the performers know how to navigate their instruments with fluidity and mastery that I, as a composer, will never 100% grasp because I didn't spend years on that instrument.
Right.
I only know, theoretically what the thing is, but, having performed my own instrument and knowing its ins and outs, I wouldn't ever expect anyone to, notate for me a thing on my instrument better than I would just be able to, do, intuitively. So, a lot of that is just "Hey, yeah, you do the thing. You just, do this thing that I know you do, and just do it."
Yeah.
Instead of,
Yeah.
"Play this these 16 bars, the way I wrote them." It's "No, no, no. Let me, figure out what the emotional space and the idea is, and I will let you be you."
Thank you so much for tuning in to Micromaker by Loose Leaf Transmissions. We hope you enjoyed this brief glimpse into the inner workings of the creative life. If this resonated with you, be sure to check out the full conversation on Music Maker with Tyler Kline, a podcast exploring craft and process, philosophy and inspiration, and the honest, often messy parts of being an artist, creative uncertainty, purpose and identity, and resilience. You can find Music Maker wherever you get your podcasts or by visiting musicmakerpodcast.com.